So hello, I'm Tony Mitra and I'm here with Wendy Bales, who is a small business woman as well as an organic farmer and a politician who has held different positions so far, and right now she is a candidate for the federal election as an independent. So hi Wendy.
I should just clarify that I haven't filed papers yet.
Okay, she's not filed papers.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm seriously thinking about it. But it's quite difficult to run as an independent. There's a lot of differences between being a party and running. You can raise money ahead of time, and if you're an independent, you can't. So
all right, so
I just
she's
want to
thinking about
clarify
it.
that.
Okay. She's thinking about it. She's not yet.
I'm working on it actually.
She's working on it now. The reason we are talking here today is to explore or discuss possible unethical practices, possible corruption that might be going on in our democracy, in the election system, which is ground up, and it happens even before the day of the election. And Wendy has some experience in that. When she was standing for the provincial election a few years ago. Wendy, can you talk about that? What happened?
Well, that was the 2013 provincial election, and I was standing as a candidate for the nomination.
Of which party?
Of the NDP.
Okay.
And while I was running, I did some door canvassing of memberships of the party.
Okay.
So as I went door knocking, I found out that there was some inconsistencies with the membership that didn't look good, as far as it seemed like people, there were people being signed up that didn't know they were members. That's one thing. There were people that didn't seem to live where they were supposed to live, and you need to be living in the riding. That was another thing. And that was just the beginning of quite a few things that I found out about how you can rig elections, or possibilities of how you could rig an election in the nomination process.
Right. If I may briefly rephrase it and tell me if I'm saying something wrong. It is possible, from what you experienced, is that some people's names are being used as members in order to vote for a candidate, where the people themselves don't know that they are members or they are going to vote for a candidate. So this is one. And the other, some people might have been members who maybe don't even live in that riding, and therefore wouldn't qualify. Otherwise, if their names were written correctly, address was written correctly, they would not qualify to be a member of that riding. Is that a fair way of saying it?
That's what I think I found out when I went door knocking, but I didn't talk to the people very long. But the second place that I went to, the lady didn't seem to know she was a member of the party. Now, on this membership form...
Is that an NDP form?
That's an NDP form. It says that you are, that I declare and I accept that I will abide by the Constitution, principles and policies of the NDP of BC and Canada, and I am not a supporter of any other political party. So right under that clause, you sign your name and you date it. So when I found somebody that didn't know she was a member, I thought, well, how do you become a member and not know it if you have to sign your name to the form? So...
Okay, so this is one issue. Do you know of cases where a person might have been member of two parties at the same time?
I definitely do, because after the election, the nomination election, there was quite a few issues that I ran into that to me were not ethical. And we don't have time to get into all of them.
Right.
So I'll just state briefly that I was lucky enough to get a copy of the Liberal membership.
Of your own riding?
Of my own riding.
Okay.
So I had the NDP membership list.
So you could compare?
So I could compare. So when I compared, there were 121 people that were members of both the Liberal Party and the NDP Party. So under this clause, it says right there that you're not a member of another party.
Right. So they probably violated the requirement of this party. We don't know whether it's also a requirement of Election Canada laws, do we?
I don't know if it's a requirement of Election Canada, but I do remember phoning up the Liberals to find out what their requirement for membership was, and they also do not want you to be a member of another party. That's also part of their requirements for membership, that you were only a member of their party.
Is it easy to get this list by a non-member, by the citizens?
No. And that's part of the reason why it's so easy for the things that go on
At the party level.
At the party level to go on. And
so it is possible that at the time of election, you have 4 rotten choices, 3 or 4 rotten choices, in the sense that some special lobby or influence group might have unethically managed to get their candidate selected to represent the party, essentially going against the wish of the genuine party members.
I'm not sure how you could term it. You could say that a recruiter was unethical in their recruiting, because any member of a party can recruit other members. So that's how they get members.
Yeah, but if you have people who voted me to become a candidate and people who didn't even know they were members, didn't even know they voted, don't even live there, there is some kind of a fraud going on, whether it's illegal in Election Canada law or not. Essentially for the voters of the constituency, it's kind of a fraud. They're being cheated out of an honest candidate, because I didn't really deserve to represent them, but I still do. I did, because all these funny people came in and voted me in.
Yeah, technically I'm not sure if it would be something that could be termed as legal fraud, or how it could be dealt with, because
do we think that
parties are very confidential about their lists?
Do you think it should be a requirement for parties to make everything public? Because it is, after all, at the end of the day, about preserving democracy in Canada.
Well, I think it's a serious problem. And
it is for the people, or is it not?
Yeah, I think it is a serious problem in that the grassroots of most parties really do adhere to the ideology of their party.
I understand.
But many people join just to get a candidate in, right at the last minute. So
do you think, we are running out of time for this snippet,
yeah.
Do you think what happened in more than one party is apparently in your riding for the provincial election, do you think there is evidence that this also happens in other ridings, and that it also may happen in federal elections, like the one we are having now?
Well, I've talked to several people who do think it happened in more than one party for this federal riding of Mission, Matsqui, Fraser Canyon. It's hearsay, I suppose, but people who were at the nomination meetings were very upset by what they saw.
Not necessarily NDP, but even other parties.
Other parties.
Okay.
So I don't think it's so much just about one party. I'm not knocking one party.
Right.
It
is a systemic corruption.
It's a systematic problem with people who can manipulate the system.
Correct.
And I don't think I am very supportive of grassroots people who really believe
of course.
in their
Naturally.
ideology.
Naturally. So what should we do? I mean, apart from popularizing it, should we demand, should people demand that these internal party lists and goings on should be made public if the parties wish to gain trust of the people? Should we demand that this should be done? Should we ask Election Canada to make it a kind of requirement so that how do you say? So that these things are transparent and done as per party rules?
I think at the very least there should be an independent organization, similar to how independent organization might go to another country and oversee an election in another country.
Right.
They would oversee the party lists, They would oversee whether it looked like one person's handwriting on multiple memberships. They would be able to look at the files. I did try and go in and to look at the files, but I wasn't allowed to look at the files.
There should be something like that. How to make it happen, we don't know. This is for us to decide, the public to decide how they want to clean up the election system so that we the people are not cheated out of our democracy, is my word, my way of saying it. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Is our democracy being hijacked before even the day of the election? How are the candidates selected? How transparent is this selection process? How honest is this selection process? How representative is this selection process? These are the questions that you as a citizen of Canada might contemplate or consider asking the candidates to come clean on.